They thought they stripped me of everything when HR slid that termination letter across the polished oak table. "Hand over all company property," the woman said flatly, her eyes avoiding mine. I smiled. I gave them the keys to the building. She thought it was compliance. I knew it was the beginning. An hour later my phone buzzed. The CEO's voice exploded through the speaker. "Why is there an effing eviction notice taped to my office door?" I didn't answer. I just let him scream. I met him 12 years ago. Back then he was just a sharp-dressed dreamer with too much charm and too little restraint. He shook my hand and promised we'd build something together, something that mattered. I believed him. I poured nights, weekends, blood into that company. My ideas, my strategies, my grit. He called me his right hand, his partner in everything but ink. I didn't mind then that the shares were in his name. I thought loyalty was stronger than contracts. But I should have remembered. People like him don't see loyalty. They see leverage. The first signs were small. Meetings I wasn't invited to. Decisions made without me. His laughter echoing down the hallway with the new golden hires, while I sat outside, unacknowledged. Then the whispers. He was grooming someone else to replace me. I ignored it. Loyalty makes you blind. But blindness ended the day I opened that email chain. My name wasn't CC'd, but someone slipped it to me. It was him, my so-called partner, telling the board I'd outlived my usefulness. I read the words twice, 3 times, each syllable cut deeper than the last. I didn't rage, I didn't cry. I planned. I knew something they didn't. The building wasn't owned by the company. It was owned by me. Quietly, through a trust, through a name they never bothered to trace. I bought it years ago when the company was strapped for cash. He'd thanked me then, never realizing I hadn't donated the money, I'd secured the deed. For years, I let them believe they were the kings of that castle. I let them build their empire on land that wasn't theirs. So when HR demanded I hand over all company property, I gave them exactly that, the keys. Not the ownership, not the ground beneath their feet, just the keys. The plan was precise. Step 1, terminate the lease, effective immediately. Step 2, call in the sheriff's office to serve the eviction notice. Step 3, sit back and wait for the panic to spread like wildfire through their polished glass walls. I didn't need to sabotage servers or steal clients. I simply pulled the floor out from under them. The CEO's second call came 30 minutes later. His tone had shifted. Less fire, more fear. "You can't do this," he hissed. "We'll fight it." "You'll lose," I said calmly. "Read the lease. Clause 12. Termination upon breach. You broke it months ago when you diverted funds for personal expenses." Silence. The kind that tells you a man has just realized the noose isn't around your neck, it's around his. I thought back to the countless nights I stayed in that office, lights burning past midnight. The projects I saved, the crises I solved, the loyalty I gave so freely, all dismissed with a cold email and a staged firing. And now here he was, cornered in the very building he thought he owned, facing down an eviction notice with my signature at the bottom. Poetic. By the end of the week, moving trucks crowded the parking lot. Executives carried out boxes under the watchful eyes of security. Employees whispered, confused, fearful, some secretly amused. The mighty empire, reduced to cardboard and sweat. I stood across the street, hands in my pockets, watching it unravel. No gloating, no chaos, just quiet satisfaction. Because revenge doesn't need fireworks. Sometimes the cleanest cuts are the deepest. The CEO finally showed his face on the last day. His tie hung loose, his eyes bloodshot. He spotted me leaning against my car. For a moment, I thought he might cross the street, say something, apologize, threaten, beg. But he didn't. He just stood there, broken in a way power can't hide. Then he turned, climbed into his black sedan, and drove away from the building he no longer controlled. People ask me if I miss it, the company, the title, the grind. I don't. They stole my credit, my seat at the table, my years. I stole their kingdom with one quiet signature. I left them with nothing but keys that unlocked doors to a place they no longer belonged. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and when it does, the silence is deafening.